Here we go. It's the second episode of Full Court Press. Dave Johnson and Glenn Cotsworth. And we have a special guest joining us this week. It is Ish Smith. And Ish, first of all, you're hanging still in D.C. We're getting through this together. And that's the thing. I think fans appreciate this. We're all in this together. We want to stay connected. How have you been getting through this period of time?
I've actually been pretty good. A lot of video games. Netflix. I just finished Ozark last night. I've been doing a lot of matter of fact, I just watched the 96-97 championship Bulls on Prime Video. So I've been doing FaceTiming a lot. My fiance, my mom, my sisters, my brothers, my friends, family. So time hasn't been bad. And then doing my I don't like to use this reference, but I'm gonna say it, a prison workout. Doing my push-ups, sit-ups, doing all the things that Blair, our strength coach, has sent us, on top of getting my beach body ready.
Before Glenn asks you a question, that's important, the fitness stuff. That's hard, too, to do it by yourself.
Nah, it is hard. It's hard to do it by yourself. But I turn on some music, and I just kind of get it done. Just get it done. So, you know what? I've actually been doing pretty good. Like I said, it's other situations and problems around in this world. So I'm okay.
Yeah, so you doing anything with the ball in your hands?
Yeah, so I lay on my back on this couch over here, and I just shoot up in the air.
Do you really?
Yeah, old school Michael Jordan.
That works.
Yeah, it does.
That works.
It does. So it's something that my dad and my mom actually suggested it. My dad said, "You ain't got a ball in the house and just shoot up in the air or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I might do that." So my mom said the same thing actually like a couple of days later. So it's something to have a basketball actually in your hands. I'm watching TV. I'm just holding the ball. Just becoming familiar with it so I don't lose the touch.
So while you're watching TV, watching something, you just keep that ball going?
Yeah, so like commercial, I might shoot up in the air. Or like in between, so like last night, me and my fiance was watching Ozark. She was on FaceTime, and so she was watching it from her TV. And so like when we went from episode 1 to episode 2, like I was shooting up in the air. Always taking a little back. While she's taking a bathroom break in between the shows, I'm shooting up in the air. So it's fun. It's cool. Like I said, it's actually hasn't – I've actually been okay. You know, had a lot of time to, like, read and just chill and relax. So it's not that big of a deal.
Now, before we go any further, our first guest on Full Court Press last week, earlier this week, was Scott Brooks, the head coach. Now,
okay.
Now he tells me that you still owe him some gift cards from the 21-point free throw shooting game. Is that true?
First and foremost, I heard about a story that he free throw shooting game that he had with Mike Breen, and I heard that was like an epic free throw shooting competition. But I didn't know he was Duke. I didn't know he was that good of a free throw shooter. So he, when I first went to OKC, and I told him, I said, first and foremost, I was trying to let him win so I can get on the darn court. Shoot, he wasn't playing me. Nah, he had every right not to play me. I was playing behind Russell Westbrook and Reggie Jackson. I'm not mad at it. But coach, yeah, I owe him some stuff. I do. I owe him. Once I get it really, really like I want to this summer, then I think I'm gonna compete against him again next year.
Yeah, even that score.
Yeah, I got to.
Hey, Ish, these are some historic, challenging times we're all going through. Where we're in a giant, I don't want to say red light, but it's a big giant pause sign. Yeah. And to some degree, it's been a time, at least for me, of self-reflection and, taking a step back, what's really important. How has this hit you with, really the other things in life that, sometimes we get so engulfed with the season? How has this hit you from a self-reflection standpoint?
No, it's been good. We've talked throughout the whole year, and I've always been a guy to try to see the glass half full. So for me, I've always looked in situations like this, when the pause button, like you said, I actually used that reference the other day talking to my brother. Like, it's funny, it's just like a huge pause button. And so what do you do with this time? And what do you, how can you come out of this better than, what you, went in, this time and this moment? And so for me, just been a time just to catch up. Me and my dad actually sent me like a lot of like high school tapes. So I've been watching some high school tapes when we played high school together. I mean, when I played high school, he was my assistant coach when me and my brother was playing together. Talking to my mom, my sisters, dad, my nieces, nephews, just a lot of different things to kind of reconnect. Like I said, my fiance, just constantly trying to like reconnect, talk. I'm a huge family guy, so I'm constantly anyway talking to them throughout the season. So for me, it's just reflect, trying to figure out why was it, I don't do a lot of whys. I just kind of be like, it's the reason why. And, for me to figure it out, it would probably take me my whole life. So let's just keep going through this. First and foremost, inform ourselves on how we can get better. And the second thing is let's do and be obedient to what people are telling us so we can come out of this and be okay and get on the other side of this. But for the most part, I do self-reflections a lot. And so for me, I just been sitting, chilling, relaxing, and just kind of soaking up this time.
Along those lines, do you find yourself, and I know I do you find yourself actually talking to people more? We all do this all the time. We're always staying at the phone and I think I've actually had a conversation of more than 2 sentences with my son. We're texting back and forth, and sometimes we've gotten to the point where you get emojis text back and forth. We don't even use words anymore. Do you find yourself actually talking more? And what are you hearing from fellow players, or who are you talking to for support?
So,
we all need it.
Yeah. So we get on. We have a WhatsApp, and so it was Sko's birthday the other day. We shot him a text telling him happy birthday. Some of the guys play online, so they talk trash back and forth. I just seen DB on this thing. They had a EuroLeague where he hit like a shot to win the game, and DB was running around crazy. So we're keeping that kind of conversation that staying connected with each other. But I understand it can be a frustrating time for a lot of guys, especially when during this time, this is when you're working and the season's going on. Like the season's going on, everything's afloat. And so we try to keep in that contact. Like I said, constantly talking to my brother, my friends. I just got off the phone with my friend of mine, Brian, and a friend of mine, Chris. One lives in LA, one lives in North Carolina. Just talking about any and everything. My boy Brian put like a weight room in his house, so he was telling me about that. Boy Chris just met somebody. So it's just, you just start getting this lingo and conversation, watching my little nieces and nephews grow up kind of, because you miss those times. When you're going through life, you kind of, what our season is, it's kind of busy. Not kind of, it's really, really busy. And so you miss those times. And so, just trying to catch up on those moments and catch up on those times. And to me, it's always a positive in everything. And you just have to find it. And when you find it, you utilize it and try to, continue to build on that positive.
Ish, it's interesting because, the world we live in, we're traveling with the Wizards. We're going to practice. We're going to games. We're hopping on planes. And, it's so hectic. And I mentioned earlier how everything is stopped. Well, it's for the most part, maybe not for the hospital workers. For the most part, it is stopped for everyone. We're talking about self-reflections. What have you learned about yourself? Because we're all craving the NBA. We're all craving, we want to get back on the air. Me and Dave talk about it all the time, what we missed. But what have you learned about yourself?
Well, for me, I think the self-assessment and the kind of learning of yourself is that during this time, you can sit back and kind of relax and chill. Your life doesn't have to be a constant go, 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 go. And even if it is a go, 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 being able to really reflect and see the peoples and the loved ones that you have and really keep that communication strong, talking to them. And like I said, I'm very tight with my family. So we communicate at a high level anyway, but it's always another level to talk to everybody and kind of keep everybody kind of in the loop of what's going on and then keeping you in the loop of what's going on. So for me, it's just how important friends, family, and when you don't have something that you're so used to, not having a game of basketball can be difficult. It's all hard for, all of us. And I think when something's taken away from you, the little things in life mean so much more. Even walking outside, driving, going to practice. It could be just going to the grocery store, going to pick up food, like just being around all of us, not even specifically basketball, all of us as a people. You can't during this time. So it allows you to realize how close you really are with people that you might not know, but just everybody, all of us as a group, as people, we see the importance of all of it, all the little things that we take for granted. That is the one thing that kind of self-reflection is, man, I'm going to pay attention to everything that's around.
Yeah. That's good. And you just, we've already touched on this a bit, but actual communication is the key. As people are watching this or listening to this, they'll hear happiness in our voice and we're smiling, but I'm sure you all are like me. There's times during this day where I just feel like, oh man, how are we going to get through this? And then I'll talk to a friend or somebody. And next thing you know, you've got that wind in your sails.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. There's so many ways that we can help each other out. One thing I love about, and I don't like to talk about, anybody else's countries or whatever the case is, but one thing I love about United States of America, we do such a great job pulling together during these tough times. I remember when I was younger, and I hate to bring this up, but when 9/11 hit, we just band together. And we do it every time tough crises come. And it could be, me driving and, I'm seeing somebody and they just let me by, wave during this time. Just wave. Hope you're feeling all right. Hope you're feeling okay. It could be just a random person I don't even know. We're constantly building each other up when we don't even know it. And during this time, this is a crucial time that we need to really do it. Whether it's friends, family, or somebody that you've never met. That's the beauty about what I love about this country. We really do build each other up and get through these tough times together.
Speaking of building each other up, I know you and I have talked about our friend Skip Prosser, who was so special to you. How do you think Skip would have handled all this?
He
had that way about him.
Listen, let me tell you something.
He had that special way of getting a smile out and different angles, right?
Yeah, and when I think about it, I get you get chills. That's my guy. And sometimes I look back selfishly. I'm gonna talk selfishly. I think man, I wonder how proud Skip would be of me. And but those moments, these are the moments he really relished. It was crazy when stuff was he taught me so much. Him, Jeff Battle, Dino Gaudio, Pat Kelsey. I mean, the list can go on and on. They taught me so much because when I came into college, I was such an emotional, high and low. There was no middle ground. And Skip had such a great way of kind of putting things in perspective. This game of basketball is what it is. This life is who people really see you as. And so during these times, he would always relish these moments. It was crazy. He would always step up with these moments and have the great sayings, the right words. And you knew it wasn't fake. He really genuinely meant everything he said. And so he would come up with some Waldo Emerson, he would come up with some great poet, somebody great saying. He was always educating you, but he always knew what to say. And he taught me, my mother and father did a great job of raising me. But then when I got with Skip, he taught me how everybody plays a part. It could be the person that's picking up trash. It could be somebody cutting your grass. It could be somebody, all of us play a part. And he treated everybody the same. That's one thing I loved about Skip. And so when I saw that, I was like, this is one of the best coaches in the ACC. I can do that. And so during these moments, he would always come up with something to pick people up. Now, he wasn't just talking. He was constantly, putting action, coming up with foundations, coming up with different things. So these are the moments Skip relished. And this is, when you really miss Skip, because this is when the world really misses, the opportunity to listen to a Skipism.
Well, and along those lines, another coach, and I know you agree with this, and we all agree with this, that appreciates everyone and can name every usher in the arena in Oklahoma City or Capital One Arena is Scott Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks.
And I know you tried to let him win in the 21-point free throw shooting contest so you get more playing time. But as he shared that story with me today with a big smile, can you just talk about the journey with him? Because I look at how hard he worked to make it in the NBA, and I see parallels with you.
Yeah. You know what? Coach spent 10 years in the league. And it's funny because if you guys come up to Coach Brooks is not the biggest man. And you got to understand, in that time, you needed some size. So with all that being said, you could tell what kind of toughness he brought to the table, what kind of grit he brought to the table. And that's not even talking about his skill. The thing that bothers me is when people say, because the NBA is, it's a tough business, it's grueling, but Coach was talented. He wouldn't have got to that level without the talent. And he wouldn't have played 10 years in the league with a championship without talent. And so he took that on to being now, arguably to me, one of the top coaches in the NBA. The way he can manage personalities, the way he can balance certain personalities and how he can talk to guys and how he can pull you to the side. He's had so many kind of one-on-one conversations with me and how he knows each guy and how he can, like, poke each bear. He has his way of coming up to me and, like, it'd be, I don't know what game it was. We just came out the game, and I thought I played pretty well. And he came up and said, "Oh, we played against Charlotte. Beat Charlotte." And he said, "Man, that was a pretty good game last night." I was like, "Oh, yeah, Coach, we got it done." I'm talking X's and O's, whatever the case is. And he was like, "Man, 9 shots, huh? You didn't want to play point guard last night, huh?" I'm like, "Coach, man, what the heck?" Or it might have been like 12 shots, 13 shots I took. And he was like, "You didn't want to play point guard last night, huh? You didn't want to get in." But that's okay. We won, didn't we? And I'm like, "Coach, man, But he knows how to poke. He knows how to poke. I think the next game I might have had 7 or 8 assists and got everybody involved. So he knows each player and how he can relate to people. And I tell people as a leader, the biggest thing as a coach and as a leader is kind of, this sounds bad, manipulating your players, getting them to, know that I'm getting the best out of you in a team, setting. So he does a great job of that. And like I said, it's tough that, we're going through this, but it's funny because you can reflect back on all the guys, what kind of year they had, what kind of season they had. And now this season will reconvene and I don't know when, but you can just during this time, think back of moments like that. Think back of moments when Brad went crazy on a crazy stretch, or Esak's growing up before our eyes, and GP first game get all these steals against New York, and everybody's like, "What?" And Troy just constantly growing, and DB, people don't know. We can go guy on guy on guy, and that's what I think is a good time during this time to kind of reflect and look forward, towards the future, and John coming back and different guys, coming into their own, and that's the beauty about, sitting back and relaxing and putting a pause on this season.
This has been quite an interesting year for really the organization, yourself. Bradley's had an amazing year. You've played very, very well in your role and picking up different roles during the course of the season as well. The record's not great, but it does seem like you guys, for the most part, have laid it all out there, and that it's been fun playing, even in losses. What has been your assessment of that this season? A lot of young guys, you're one of the vets, but to me, and I talk to Dave about this all the time, we enjoy broadcasting these games. Yeah. It's fun. You guys play in a fun way, in a fun style, and no one's looking over the shoulder. Yeah. No one's pointing fingers, and to me, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, the elephant in the room is next year, or whenever we reconvene, defensively we have to be better, and that's a must for us to go to the next level, because it is possible for us to be a top 5, top 10 offense and be a top 5, top 10 defense. It is possible. Golden State, the great teams have done it, and they've won championships with Cleveland. But offensively, Coach Pack has put in a system to where it's been a fun brand of basketball, where it's equal opportunity and everybody's kind of playing with great pace. And obviously, when we came in the season, nobody knew. We know we took Rui with the 8th pick, but nobody knew how talented he was and how he has – his mid-range is unbelievable, first and foremost. I thought I had a good mid-range game. His mid-range, I need to go to his class this summer. But his ability to step up and DB, people knew he could shoot but didn't know. And then you had Mo stepping out, shooting threes and posting up and just guys on guys on guys, TV. And I think everybody kind of knew, this was going to be a rebuilding year. We know what Brad's capable of. And it's crazy how much Brad just continues to grow. But I think everybody knew that. But then I think guys just kept getting better, kept developing. and we played at such a pace that was fun to watch. The fans were unbelievable this year. Fans were unbelievable this year. The pace that we played at, they just brought the juice, brought the joy. And so it was fun to watch. It was a fun brand to play. Like I said, it was an equal opportunity. And when we played great offense and locked down defensively, I guarantee you, if you guys did look back and look at the numbers, we probably were one of the best teams when we did that. And so it's something to build on. And like I said, I can name every guy on the team, and we just kind of growing and keep getting better. It's something to really be excited about.
Well, it's been a fun journey. We appreciate you being part of our journey here on Full Court Press. And just look what we're doing. We're actually communicating. We're not texting back and forth. We're actually talking back and forth.
I know, right, man. I appreciate you guys having me. This was fun.
Hey, and don't forget, it's available on Wizards Radio 24/7 on the Wizards app, on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and Google Play. And the Wizards Podcast Network can also be followed on Twitter at WashWizardsPN. So that's a lot of stuff. In fact, Ish may listen to this podcast while he's shooting a basketball up in the air.
No, I got me my ball in here.
For Ish Smith, Glenn Contra, I'm Dave Johnson. Thanks for spending some time with us on Full Court Press.